Welcome to episode 81 of Peace Talk. It's your boy, the Peace Dealer. Shout out to those of you who came in the live chat. Today's guest is no stranger to the $1 Billion Vibe Tribe. Definitely been in touch back when I was working with Lotta. So, yeah, shout out to Amy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm still there. I'm still working with Lotta. We miss you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How is she? How is the whole fam over there?
They're all right. Yeah, I'm kind of quiet these days over there. Like I stopped making videos for a while because I just lost touch with YouTube. It was just one of those things. I just went, I give up. And then I just decided to come back. I thought, you know what? I've moved house now, so I have a bigger space and I can dedicate a little bit more time to it now. So yeah, not doing too bad. It's not doing too bad.
Fun fact, I'm pretty sure Pisces attract quite the strange crowd on YouTube.
Yeah, little bit. Yeah, because when we spoke 7 months ago, I had a load of stuff happen to my channel after we did the last peace talk. And it took I think 6 months for that to die down. So I just went, oh, hell with it. And I just gave up. But no, I'm all right. I like it now. I like the energy that's kind of coming. But I think, to be fair, there's silence in a lot of us truthers, I don't know if it's like this. A lot of smaller channels have been saying they're really struggling to get the word out there,
Yeah, they've been cutting a lot of, I don't know if it's due to, what do you call it? Analytics, not analytics. Well, I don't know if it's due to changes in the algorithm.
Yes.
But yeah, view counts went down. I mean, I'm gonna just be real. They don't want us to spread this spiritual truth, so they be flagging. I guess
damn right
against this stuff, so they make the videos harder to find. But
they do.
They cannot stop the truth.
Damn right.
They cannot stop Amy. They cannot stop the Peace Dealer. It's never.
You know me. I don't shut my mouth for 1 second.
At all.
It's not gonna happen. But no, it's been tough past few weeks. It's Venus retrograde really kicked my ass. So it's only now I'm starting to feel better. How about you? How you been finding it?
Venus retrograde made me question if I even or if I should even get married or not. It's
wow.
It's a part deep inside that was like, hey, bro, you shouldn't get married. You shouldn't get married. You shouldn't have kids. You shouldn't talk. And it's weird. That one came yesterday. I was like, all right, you crossed the goddamn line. I'm gonna talk all damn day if I. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure I might get married in this lifetime. But it made me really entertain seriously the opposite, really asking me, and just like Sean said, it's definitely a conflict. It just definitely makes you re-question why you want to be in love or with somebody or whatnot.
Yeah, that is exactly what I've just experienced. It has been do I want this? Do I not want this? Do I want this future that I can see in front of me? Or am I just going to be completely off the roads with this? Go and do something else. It's been tough. I even questioned my career. I was like, do I just get a normal day job and be boring again? Or do I continue this road? It's just been so hard. And it wasn't until I would say probably 4 days ago, I had this clarity and I cried about it. And I was like, oh my God, this life is crap, And then I went, do you know what? Everything happens for a reason. We just got to go with it. Yeah, Venus, I kept calling her a bitch and then she kept throwing stuff at me. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to stop doing that.
Right? The planets are always like, I know you're not talking about me.
No. Yeah, so now it's Mercury's turn.
And I mean, I know on the surface it could seem like all these nut jobs think that they communicate with planets. That I've had real firsthand experience. I think I'm talking to someone and then the energy will just channel itself through someone and be like, holy shit, like, okay.
Yeah, you think you know people. Like, I found that, especially in this community, like, I feel like I knew people and then they showed their shady side, like, real quick. And it's the same, like, with dating and stuff. Like, you think you know someone from the get-go, and then they show their true colors, like, usually drawing like a really bad time in astrology. And then you're just like, that's why we don't connect. Like, yeah, that's a tough one. I've been dealing with a lot of Pisces energy over the Venus retrograde, like loads of Pisces energy. I mean, I know it resonates with me, but I'm sorry, but Pisces guys and women are totally different. Like that's my lesson.
That's true.
It is like totally different.
Let's just know the guy, because you're right about that, but that just taught me just guys and women are just totally different.
Yeah, in general, but yeah, I always like assumed like they're very, very similar. Like, say, like my best friend is a Gemini, and she's so like you in so many ways. Like, she's so like chill about everything. It's great. Like, but I think this kind of retrogrades taught me a lot of stuff, like what I want and what I don't want, and I don't want no drama no more. But there you go.
You know, screw the drama for sure. It seems to really just fall out, and I mean, it's humbling too. There's a facet of this energy that's willing to show us where we might fall short, and but that just honestly, that's just been making me stand up for myself even more. Just like, yeah, so what? Like, it's in a sense where like someone can bring up something you've done that's bad, but their motives aren't really pure. So it's like, why do I really care to hear that? You're only saying that to feel better about yourself or to bring me down. So it's like, you know, where's the honesty really? So if anything, though, I'm definitely excited that now there's this Mercury retrograde. It's like just when you thought the drama was over, just getting started, my friend.
I know, right? Yeah, like I had no end of clients telling me how depressed they were and stuff. Like I had to deal with a lot of like, because I although I do, you know, tarot and I delve into astrology and stuff, my main part as well is like, you know, being a therapist, like listening to people. And the amount of people that have said to me, Amy, I feel depressed during this retrograde, it's kicking my ass. And I'm like, I feel you, but it's gonna pass, and it will. But it's been, I think for the most part, just you question everything. I mean, I do that anyway, but it's a case of like you question your own motives. Like, am I going mad, or is this actually happening? Like, it's just, oh my God. But yeah, you're right about sort of like, you know, like honesty. Like, I'm sick of people lying to me, and I've noticed during this period, it's been like people being shady, like being secretive about what they're doing. And I'm sat there like, I can't be dealing with this.
For me, I've noticed other people outside hating on people I work with. Like within the span of like a week and a half, like 3 different people that I am cool with or work with. There's someone else that's just like, oh, you need to watch out for this person, or oh, this person sucks. And it's weird too, because then it's like if you look at it objectively, you know, they don't really know that other person that well outside of like whatever subjective feelings they have. If you ask them to explain it, they're not going to give you any details. It's just like, oh, I just don't like that person. And then if you actually like look at the person they say they hate, they're real life people who are like, you know, this person's actually helped me out. This person actually been a great experience. So it's kind of had me learn greater discernment as far as like.
Me too.
Who can I really?
I hate that. I hate that with a lot of people that we work with, you know, who I've worked with in the past. They're like, oh, you know, stay clear of this person. Like, she's a bitch, or, you know. And the way that I see it is that I give everyone a chance to prove themselves to me. Exactly. But of course, I'm usually the one that gets burnt. Like, I'm usually the one that gets stabbed in the back. And, you know, and I found that a lot. You know, I've reached out to people before and they're like, oh yeah, I've been told about you not to work with you. And I'm like, you don't even know me. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, like, who are you? Like, I don't even know you. Like, that's why I don't bother. That's why I'm quite quiet in terms of this. Like, you know, I have a relatively small channel. I don't tend to be very much out there. I used to be, but at the moment I've just been kind of laying low because I just can't deal with the drama that comes attached to it. And these people, man, that like they get themselves a big ego. As soon as they get a bit of fame, they're like, oh, look at me. That's what I love about you. You don't have that. You don't have that ego. You know, that's like, you don't go around thinking you're better than everyone else. So that, you know, kudos to you for that.
If I do, if the ego comes up, I'll at least do something to like make fun of it or bring it down.
Yeah.
Pride is a killer. Shout out to Amy though. We're gonna do a skit.
Yeah, we are.
She's enlightened me of my canoe of douches. So
damn right.
So
yeah, there's like a new thing, douche canoe. I don't even know where I found that insult, but I think someone called me it. It's like, oh, you're a douche canoe. And I was like, I love it. I'm going to use that all the time.
And so when he gives you a diss and instead of getting mad, you're like, oh, this is amazing. But
someone just asked me where I was from. I'm not from London. Everyone thinks, because if you're in the UK, people think I'm from London. I'm not. I'm like in the middle of the UK in a place called Nottingham. I'm like right in the middle. So that's where I'm. Yes, everyone's putting douche canoe now.
All right, it's such a catchy word. It like slides off the tongue. That's not my next rap single, douche canoe.
Do it.
Featuring Amy and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. But no, yeah, go on.
What's Nottingham like?
That's it's all right. Well, for the most part, I mean, I'm from I live in like a tiny village on the outskirts. I try to be away from as much as possible. Like I don't like the busy life. I used to live the opposite end of Nottingham. Like I used to live right at the other end, but I'm like way away from everyone now. But in the town centre, like you've got like Robin Hood and stuff like that. I guess it's okay, but it's like I don't advise you go there at Christmas because you can't breathe because it's like too much energy. I can't deal with that. Like if I go shopping in town for clothes or whatever, I can't do it. I have to like walk because it's just too much. I think it's because you're just absorbing so much energy and you're just like, ugh. Yeah. So someone called Maya Nuts Baseford. I used to live in Baseford. I did for a short time. Oh my God. Like someone's actually from my hometown on this chat. That's awesome. Wrap up knots. Yeah. Yeah. The Christmas market is stressful. It's so stressful. What's it like where you are?
I mean, Vegas is Vegas. There's a lot of people who come here every fucking day from outside the country. So, I mean, that's pretty dope. Yeah, it's I like it because I'm next to an airport. So
that's awesome.
Constantly changing energy and also casinos. But
yeah.
That's where I feel like if I was a Pisces, it'd be totally different because people who kind of come here say that, but like certain Pisces that come here say that energy is just so charged because they're so loud. Some people really don't like it because it's like very intense, or some people like it because of the intensity. So I guess it really depends on the person. Me, I really just, it depends on how I feel, I guess. I like it though, but that's my Gemini. I kind of like the whole city life.
The city life. Mm-hmm. Is your city like quite spiritually open? Like, do you find that there is a market for astrology and tarot and all things sort of metaphysical?
Compared to El Paso, which maybe now might be because it's opening, but yeah, Vegas definitely. There are workshops that I could walk into. There's a lot of metaphysical shops out here. So I can go buy crystals at a psychic eye bookshop where they have astrologers you can pay, or tarot card readers. When I first moved here, I actually worked at a psychic shop. I had to get a business license for an independent contractor to be one. And I was just giving readings. They paid daily. It was pretty lit.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is really open. That's another reason why I like being out here, even if I move pretty soon. I would still come back out here to do shows or something.
Yeah.
I think it's really good for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I mean, over here, it's not, well, it depends where you go. I mean, I found that London's quite open, but there's a lot of people there that do it. So I found, for the most part, the seaside towns, like where the ocean is, basically, where you go where the sand is, you'll find tarot readers in little sea huts and in shops. You know, I went to a place called Blackpool, which everyone in the UK is like knows. It's just like, that's great for getting drunk and that sort of thing. But you know, but the Blackpool in itself, like it's like there's a lot of it. There is a lot of it, but where I live, yeah, it is. I mean, there's only me and a couple of other people that do it. So I find that I do get a lot of work around here because people are just like crying out for it. But I'm one of those people, like majority of my clientele is in the States. I actually work with a lot of people overseas. Yes. So yeah, you guys are so much more open to it than over here. Like everyone's very sort of, everyone's only in their own business. Like they don't tend to be, I hope and pray to God I don't offend a load of British people right now. But I don't know. I just found being in the States at one time and being here, I just think you guys are a lot more receptive to it. Like you're easily open to change. Whereas we're British, we're stubborn. Like it
reminds me like Africa too and Nigeria. Like I know I couldn't be a Nigerian because everyone is either like Christian, Muslim, or just like against this. So
yeah, it's tough. It's really hard, especially like, I mean, like on my personal Facebook, I share a lot of woke stuff and people just turn a blind eye to it. Like they don't want to hear it. And that's hard. It's hard when people don't want to hear the truth. That's the worst part.
So then it's like literally having to breathe in a place where you can't breathe, or no one wants to really entertain that area. Yeah, that would. But
yeah, that's it.
What for people who are curious? What's your sun, moon, and rising sign?
What? Yeah. What did you want to know? Sorry, it went quiet your end.
Oh, that's cool. What's your sun, moon, and rising sign?
Okay, so I'm a Pisces sun, Scorpio rising, and Taurus moon.
Taurus moon. I love the strength Taurus moons have. It's just so earthy and sensual. It's like you can feel the grounding, but super subtly. Which I really like the combo with Pisces because it's like your head could be in the clouds, but your feet are on the ground. So it's like you can actually experience all this divine energy.
Whereas it's hard sometimes. It is hard because sometimes my head says one thing and my heart says another, and that's always constant battle. And I always believe that my Taurus is like, yeah, you need to man up a bit and like be realistic. But my Pisces is like, no, I can do anything. Like,
and then your Scorpio is just there with the knife, like, I wish a motherfucker.
I know, it actually is. Like, that's the thing. I mean, I have Mars in Gemini, and that for me is like the worst because I have terrible road rage. I am so bad. I have a mouth on me, and I have Mercury in Aquarius. So that also gives me a mouth. Like, yeah, it's tough.
I do like water signs with like air placements though, because you're at least the water signs that aren't delusional. And at least like you have, well, I know a party was like, well, but it's like at least you at least know when you're not being logical. I've noticed like
yeah.
And it's like you can at least see at yourself or vice versa. But yeah,
that's hard. It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough sometimes having that Mars in Gemini. It was one of my astrologer friends told me, is like, oh, I bet you have terrible road rage on the roads. I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, it's so bad. I've been driving like nearly 2 years and I just seem to come across people that just can't drive every day. It just happens a lot. Yeah, it does. But yeah, it's tough. I've always found like over the years, like I've never, it wasn't until recently, like I I have always like dated people with like opposite ends of the spectrum for me with astrology, like, but it's not until like recently I've started like discovering that people like in my life are actually very, very similar. It's really cool. Like I like it. Yeah. It's quite awesome.
Yeah. If anything, I would just be mindful about the insensitive energy that the air could bring. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I'm not insensitive. Well, the thing is, it's like when you want to be insensitive, Pisces pulls me back and goes, no, like you can't be. It's like if someone says something someone said something to me yesterday that was very insensitive. And my first reaction was about to like basically go Scorpio rising and stab them. But but it was like, no, I'm not going to say anything. And I didn't say anything, but those words freaking hurt me. And I was like, you asshole for saying that. And it was something like, it was one of those things where they said it like not in a way that was to intentionally hurt me, but you could tell the intent was there at the same time. And it was like, oh, okay, then. Like that was rude. But then I thought, you know what? I'll forgive them because there's no point in me sinking to that level. And I do walk away a lot. Yeah. You know, I have to walk away in situations that I don't think is going to serve me in the long run, you know?
That's what I appreciate about that energy too. I don't know if it's specific to Pisces, but it's one of the hardest things to do is to walk away with your ego that's ready to go to war. And
oh, yeah.
It could be, oh my gosh, when you're ready to be a douche canoe and just lay it down.
I know so many douche canoes. My God. It's like, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I mean, what are your thoughts on somebody that is a Pisces sun, Pisces rising, Scorpio moon? Like if you had a placement like that is all water, I find that in itself there's not much balance. It's just all emotion. So even like anger can be channeled through emotion as well. Like that's one thing I found with all water I found at the moment. Like I'm learning more about that because I keep getting these people that are coming into my life that are all water. And I'm like, oh, you guys can't filter. They have no, like someone I know in particular, they have no filter. They'll say it how it is, you know?
But the super psychic, you nailed it. I mean, it comes at a cost. First of all, I was going to ask if you could be insensitive against yourself and like be really hard on yourself.
Yeah, but I am all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what
I'm my biggest critic. That's it. You know, if I make mistakes, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and there was one that I made recently, and I beat myself up about it so bad that I was literally destroying myself. Like my intuition was telling me like, Amy, you messed up, but it's fine. You'll be all right. But then my ego's going, oh, you're an idiot. Like you're so stupid. And like, I put myself down so bad. Like, so although I'm not critical of other people and I try not to be judgmental or anything, each to their own. That's my motto in life. Each to their own. I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, you know, with the water energy, it is highly psychic, but that lack of air and earth, it gives them greater intuitive ability, but they lack the ability to like intellectually, like they lack the ability to know whether what they feel is logical or not, which is good. Like all the best in the world. So they can believe. So example, like I have water energy. Like I can be dead ass delusional. I can like fantasize about marrying someone that I've never met, you know, Venus in the 12 style. But at certain, if someone were to call me out about it, shout out to the sunny side. That's what's up.
Hey, stranger. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, but like I can at least snap myself back out. If someone were to call me out and be like, yeah, that's delusional. Like
yes. No, this is it. Yeah.
They will never, you can't tell them they're delusional. Like they will believe that you did some spell on them or you like touched yourselves to them because they felt it and they're just gonna be stubborn in what they feel. And it's just like that's the life that they live. So it is what it is. Like there's a pro, but there's also a con to it.
Yeah, I got you. It's the same with me in a way, because when I first get into a relationship, they are straight on that pedestal. Like they are up there and I'm like, they are a god. I'm in love straight away. And it's not until you kind of give it a month and you're like, oh, okay. Like, what did I do? Yeah, that's okay. But you know what? It usually always is okay. But it's a case of like, I've had to learn that. And I think that's when my Taurus moon is now coming in because I got it in the 7th. So it's like, I've always wanted something of, you know, there's no drama, no lies, no shady shit. You know, I want proper stability. You know, I don't want, especially because I've got kids, so I can't be messing around, you know, like, you know, that's the thing. You want stability in life, you know, and that's kind of where I've kind of always wanted. But yeah, I know what you mean. You know, I've always been the one that's like, oh, I used to have a crush on like, oh God, I can't even think of his name now off the top of my head, but like a pop star when I was a kid. So I was like, I'm gonna grow up and marry him. Like so yeah, that's how we roll.
And I mean, that's natural too. I feel like water signs get so much flack for stuff that other people do, but just know how to hide.
Mm-hmm.
There's that too. But yeah, you know, I love the fact that you brought up your mother. I do believe mothers have superpowers, you know, and
Yes.
It's definitely not easy to be one and do this as well, whether part-time.
It's hard. I do this as a job now. This is my career. It's what I do. But I can't invest as much time as other people. So my channel has been very small for a long time because I can't invest that time as much as, you know, I get my videos out every month. I have a routine, a schedule, but I can't be sat there for hours a day doing it because I got 3 kids. You know, I have a Gemini daughter, a Sagittarius son, and a Libra youngest daughter. My God, you know, all air and fire.
You gave birth to the famous 5, 3 of the famous 5. So it's like they're strongly opinionated. They're gonna like fight and love each other at the same time.
Yeah. And I'm always stressed out because I'm like the soft parent. So I'm like oh, don't fight. And then like the other end, I'm like, oh my God, like shut up. But my youngest, she's a Libra sun and rising, and she's a Virgo moon. My God, she's hard work. She's really tough. Like she knows her own mind, you know.
Wait, who the Libra Sun Virgo Moon?
Yeah.
I was actually just gonna ask you, does the Libra daughter like argue with you like a lot?
Yeah, she's 3, and it's like if she doesn't get her own way, like she will do something like, so she has so she's like, she's holding a toy or something, she will like throw it at me as if say like, hell no. Like, she's brutal.
Damn. Yeah, okay. Objection. She's already becoming a lawyer.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, my eldest daughter, she's 9. She's a Gemini sun, but she's a Pisces moon. And she's a Taurus rising. So she's very much like me, very intuitive, you know. But my youngest boy, my middle boy, he's Sagittarius, and then he's got his Taurus. He's got a Taurus moon too, but his rising's Gemini.
Okay, that's interesting. Taurus rising.
He's so loving. My God, he has to be the center of attention, though.
The show me one. That's what's up, or the I'll show you one. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's really wild.
Yeah, my household is wild. Yeah, it is. It's stressful, but it's great. Like
I know from first-hand experience, I've gotten a reading from you, and it was wonderfully accurate.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to actually get another one from you pretty soon.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. It's very nice to hear that. It's nice. It's not I'm one of those people where like I see so many people asking for testimonies and stuff, and I just forget, like. But yeah, it's been how have you found this year as a whole though, in terms of like, because everyone's saying that like 2018 has been horrendous in terms of, you know, what's kind of happened to everybody. I think for myself it's been okay. Like I've had major life changes though, like that have changed my life forever. Whereas every year's been kind of like, yeah, but this year's been like, whoa. Like
Well, people are afraid to accept that this intensity that we're feeling is only getting more intense. Like there are a lot of people like, is it gonna get better? Is it gonna get better? And the what you said about the retrograde it being temporary, that's very true. Like there was a very necessary dip. However, like this energy is going to get even more intense. Like this is about to be the new norm, which I'm excited about as an air sign because I kind of like even outside of being an air sign, I kind of like this kind of gritty intensity kind of forces people to be more authentic. But
yes,
yeah, outside of that, outside of the energy getting more intense, 2018 was definitely very life-changing and transformative for me too. If you notice, like I've slowed down my content a lot. Like I haven't really been producing as much as I usually do, and that's because I noticed like I was going this direction, and I had to actually like slow down.
Yeah.
Years, and I'm gonna produce again, but yeah, I've really personally, and I'm using myself as an example because I know a lot of people also feel this kind of way too. It's like having to, it's kind of like how you were saying you're reevaluating whether you want to even do this work or not. It's like, what's the attitude I want to come at this at? Like, what's the purpose? What's the meaning? And just really feel, and a lot of it is us kind of like coming into a deeper part of ourselves, which requires like unpacking and unloading and just really resting and just really like not trying to do something to try and like fix it or something like that. So
I had to do a lot of sacrificing this year, like a lot of things that I didn't necessarily want to do. I'm talking big life-changing events that I did not ever in a million years would see coming. Like, I've had to say goodbye to people, but I've had amazing people come in. It's just all been, and when you look at it in seeing what's going on in astrology, you're like, yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why. It's nice. When people actually learn, I mean, before I didn't have a clue about any of this. And it's since I've learned about it through all of you guys, really, I'm like, it makes so much sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, it really, it's one of them things now, when you know about astrology and you know how it all works. And then you'll go, I did a write-up for on my Facebook page about what the 12 signs are going to expect over sort of 2019. And someone was like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm an Aries. And I'm like, okay, so you read Aries. That doesn't apply to you. No, it doesn't. I'm like, yeah, well, you're not just an Aries. Yeah, but I am. And I'm like, no, but you're not. Like, but you're not. Like, I have to do it now with readings. Every time I do a tarot reading, like face to face, I'm like, do you know what time you were born? And they're like, yeah, I do. I'm like, yes. Now I'm going to know everything.
Don't you hate when people like say, yeah, I know what time I'm born, and then they say I was born from like 2 to 4 or like 2 to 3, and it's like, I need the exact minute.
I know.
On the clock. 10 minutes is too much of time.
I know. Well, when I did a reading back in September, and it was one of those where I actually got him to text his mum because I needed to know what the birth time was, because I was like, and I can't do it without birth time. I have to know. I know I can do it, but it's not as good because you don't know the rising. And I'm always like, if not, I take a wild guess with the rising, and I'm usually always right. It's one of them. Yeah, I find that like you take kind of an educated guess, but you have to be precise.
That's what I'm excited about this stage of my career. I get to be like the scientist now. Just do a lot of case study, just go around and ask people standard questions and do the groundwork and research like Jung did and certain other astrologers, and to really legitimize this in a greater way. But I really love what you're doing with this, Amy, because you're still very chill. You're not really trying to be a superstar here. You're really definitely open to help. What really inspired you to walk and start this path? And how did you
inspired me?
Awaken?
How did I awaken? Well, it sounds stupid with the awakening process. I'll start with that. I mean, I'm going back to 20 13. I mean, I've always known I've had something because my grandma, when she was alive, she could see stuff, like she could see spirits, and you know, she used to scare me with it. And my mom, she's a Leo, she had very similar things. She's very intuitive, my mom, like very protective as well. And you know, me growing up, I had an Aquarius father when he was alive, you know, so he was very sort of on it as well. So everybody had this kind of, like, I knew that I felt different growing up. I always felt like I wasn't fitting in anywhere. I always felt like I was always the quiet one, would you believe? I was the quiet one growing up. And then I hit about 14. I got really badly bullied at school, to the point where I couldn't take it. And I was bullied because I was tall. That was like a thing. Yeah.
That is wow.
I'm 5'11". I'm massive. Like, I'm really tall. Yeah, I'm really tall. Yeah, 5'11". And yeah, so I was bullied because I was like, oh, she's like real tall. Like, shut up. But yeah, but it wasn't until it was around then, like, I forgave these people that did me wrong, and people were like, why do you forgive people so easily? And I'm like, I don't know, I just do. And then I kept giving these people second chances, and then I went home and I actually typed into, was like, Ask Jeeves or whatever it was back then, and I was like, why do I forgive people? And I learned about empathy and being an empath, and I thought, that sounds like me. And then it wasn't really until 2014, when me and my ex broke up, I started to like really question who I was. And then my dad died in 2016. And before he died, he said to me, like, you need to do what you need to do. And I didn't know what he meant. And then it all just kind of fell into place. But my awakening started really 2013 when I watched a documentary about the Illuminati with my best friend. It was just like a bit of a laugh. We just sat there with popcorn and coffee, and then we had some vodka after, but it was cool. But we watched it and we were like, no, this can't be serious. Like, is this really real? And yeah, kind of went from there. And that's when it wasn't until I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, I started buying tarot cards and stuff again, and just really started getting into it. So my videos that I started first uploading, I'm talking nearly 4 years ago, they were all while I was pregnant. So they kind of gave me a spiritual awakening, it did. So yeah, that's my little life story.
Honestly, like that's one of the few things I listen for. Like if throughout the process of awakening, if you haven't had that moment with the Illuminati where it's like you were put on to them, then you're just not woke for real. Like if whether you believe it or not, like everyone has that moment in their awakening journey where they watched those videos about the Illuminati and they just started to see things that just so
my thing was we watched a documentary about it was the music industry and how there is subliminal messages in videos and like the all-seeing eye and stuff like that. And I'm like, there was a time period. They don't do it so much now, but I'm talking like
videos.
Yeah, like Lady Gaga used to do that all the time. And you'd be like, why is she doing that? And then you know why they do it. It's pledging allegiance and that. But yeah, I don't really delve into that stuff now. I mean, I'm into more like, I'm just,
we've been there, done that. We've earned our stripes.
We damn right have. That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I love it when someone tells me like they're really like when they're proper asleep. And I'm like, where can I open up in my chapter of wokeness? You know, like
someone tried to threaten me. He was like, my uncle's in the Illuminati. He's a Mason. You know what I fuck with? He was like, are you fucking serious? Really? Oh, is this how we doing it now? Okay.
Damn right it is. I went to I did like a psychic event about 4 months ago. It was in the summer. And when I got the address, I didn't know where it was. And they said it was a Freemasons hall. And I was like, no. So me being me, I took my phone. Obviously, I took my phone with me. And it had my camera on. And it had like a checkerboard floor. And I met the Mason, the head of the Masonry place. And I'm just like, so how many sacrifices have you done? And he's just like, you know your stuff, but I'm not telling you anything. I'm like, damn. Like, it was quite fun.
Yeah.
I love interrogating people. I'm terrible. Like I can tell a mile off if someone's lying or if they're hiding something from me, or they can come around my house and I just know something's wrong with them. Like,
Nice.
what's the matter? What's the matter? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, yeah, there is. I know everything.
And that's the cool thing about like those. I like how you noticed how like it kind of went down in prominence because around 2012, 2013, like that was heavy, like kind of exposing the patterns in the music videos. And the thing about that is that works in cycles. So like a lot of stuff that was exposed back then is coming out now with Jupiter in Scorpio and Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge thing with the music industry and all the Illuminati buzz, like whether it's really called that or not, that's coming out the next two. People kind of sharing their experiences within it. People kind of indirectly alluding to, because I get the sense that, you know, what we think is true might not be true, but the idea of it is true. And like we're definitely on to something. But like you said, like we're beyond that. We're kind of past that. That was kind of like a part of it. Was good to know. I think that stage of awakening is important because you know, it kind of teaches you that regardless of even if it's true or not, it's taught us to think critically, not just blindly believe something we're taught to blindly believe.
Well, the way I see it is we go to school and we're taught what we're taught to believe. Like we're given textbooks and exam papers and said, right, this is all that you need to know. Now go on your way, get a job, go to college, uni, whatever it is you want to do. But we're never actually taught to think outside the box and think. My dad, when he was alive, he taught me question everything. Like if I don't know, if the history teacher tells you that 1 million people died in some form of war, and then I would be the one to say, well, how do they know distinctively it was that many? Like, even though they'll have like death records and stuff, I'll always be the one to question it. And they always used to say, oh, she's the one that's going to be the troublemaker, yeah, that's true, but that's me. I never used to I didn't do well at maths though. I was terrible at math at school. Still am. Never the best. I'm still like, I don't know if you guys do it over there. Do you do algebra in school?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, well, I've been out of school since, I graduated 2007 and I'm still waiting to use algebra. So
yeah,
still waiting.
You don't really use it. Algebra and calculus are kind of used more for like professional degrees like engineering or certain calculations that need to be made like rarely, right? But now those people are using calculators. So they don't even really need to use like with that anymore. It's just
my Gemini daughter got smart at school because what her teacher was like, oh, well, she was sat there struggling with a question. She's like, oh, can I use a calculator? And he was like, yeah, well, you're not going to have a calculator outside of school. She was like, well, yeah, I can use my mom's phone. I was like, oh, no. So it begins.
They even have calculators that plug in like algebraic equations. So yeah. So it's like you don't even really need it. Like you should know it, but if you don't, you're
no, I didn't do too well with math. I was good at English, but that was it. And IT, I'm good at computers. That's just like kind of my nerdy thing. I'm good at computers, so.
But I think what's happening right in front of our eyes is that, to the horror of people who have established, because you have to think a lot of this curriculum is established. A lot of these schools are accredited. Like it's not that they're up there because it's just some old people who want us to like learn. Like people have put in hard work to really establish credibility in schools of thought and knowledge. And our generation is just like, we don't give a fuck. Like, we're making our own way, which is hard because we're starting from scratch, but it's like, it's very freeing. It's like, we were told that if we didn't go this route, we wouldn't be successful. And it's like, well, what do you call this? Because, I mean, people have their names for it, we might not have external indicators of success, like certain luxury cars and lifestyles, but we have at least broken through the start of it to at least build the way to get
Well,
here.
this is it. I mean, I found like I did a video on this last week. I did a video about like the different types of children that there are, like crystal children. All my kids are rainbow babies. Like they're the ones that really are setting the new generation, if you like, of spiritual children. You know, I'm kind of I'm on the border with indigo. I think I'm like kind of an indigo child. Like I'm the warrior. Like I'm kind of one that really stands up for what she bloody well believes in. Like I'm very firm like that. You know, if I think that I'm one of those people where it will take a lot for me to snap and it will take a lot for me to lose it, if you like, lose my shit. But, you know, I will take and take and take as much as I can. But in terms of being woke, like you can't shut me up. Like once I'm on something, that's it. It will keep going and going, you know. Anyone that has my personal Facebook, they know I just post woke stuff all the time. I do.
It's misleading because like the society we're in is so obsessed with upstaging the other, or with this version of success that has to look incredible. And you have people who are content with where they're at. It's not complacency. It's like we're at peace because like we know what we're doing. We know what we want. We know we can go greater at any time. But it's because we refuse to be in that rat race or pace. We kind of get shamed for it when it's like we're actually living our truth. And you ever kind of feel that cognitive dissonance where it's like, wow, this is it. Like, this is like you're so used to probably not being afraid of success, or you're so used to like having to reach at a certain place and you're like here and it's like, oh wow, like it's not what I thought it would be, but you know, it's actually great to be here. I don't think I would, right? But yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, there is so much potential now with new generations of being woke. I mean, like my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, they weren't so much. It was more like, it's about my grandparents' era. It was almost like taboo. Like you don't really talk about, oh yeah, it's like, oh, you know, if you think you can see spirits, then you must be like a medium or something. Like you, oh, it's a clairvoyant, you know. But I just think like nowadays, like especially in this community, you're right. People like are so wanting the fame that they forget the reason why they're here in the first place. That's why I'm very humbled. Like with my little channel, I'm very happy with it. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. I'm just leaving it up to, I'm not like, I did at one point, I became like, oh my God, I'm not using the right tags. But then I'm just like, I can't keep up with the algorithms. I can't be arsed. To be honest, I can't be bothered. Like, I'm like thinking about what kids have got to do their homework and, you know, who's not read with me this week. You know, I've got to kind of do mom stuff as well as work stuff. So that's why I have a schedule. That's why I try to be, you know, organized. But I'm a Pisces. That doesn't come easy.
I feel you. People don't realize it's not that easy for mutable signs to like kind of, it's like people expect from us what we're not even supposed to fulfill, and we just have to hold space. We do.
Oh, I feel you. When I registered my name, because obviously I used to be on YouTube as Amy's Angel Guidance, but I changed it. But my website and that is still the same. It won't ever change because I can't be bothered to change it. But yeah, but when they because over here you have to register it for like tax purposes and stuff like that. And when I registered my business in 2016, this is every year you have to provide evidence that you are earning money. I'm like, that's easy. PayPal. Piece of cake. But then you have to like work out your expenditure. So like, you know, if you buy a camera in the UK, you can use that with your business. You say, yeah, well, I bought that for my business, you know. And they were like, we need to see receipts for these things. And I'm like, yeah, good luck. I don't keep stuff like that. Now I have a book. I have like one book that has everything in it, and that is it. I don't. Yeah. Brett, just to answer your question, my moon is in Taurus. Oh, you already answered that. Never mind.
But yeah, it's really amazing. I feel this generation is as much experimental as it is revolutionary because like everyone born in the 80s and 90s has to really accept at a certain level. We're late bloomers, really, especially to 90s. Like people are expecting success in like 30s. We're not going to truly step into it until the 30s, 40s, which is like allowing, like a lot of people are going to be married later. People are going to have kids later. it's not to say that people won't have it earlier, but it's
Yeah.
like if you kind of just release that whole need to prove yourself to like the generation of older parents or to have, because they want us to have success the way they had it, and we're doing something way more authentic than they even know, and they don't recognize it. So it's like let Amy and I be proof. Just because people may not recognize your definition of sex doesn't mean that you're not. You know what I mean? So it's and my next question to you, Amy, is how did you, when you did get started on this journey, was it, I think you answered this, but was it strictly tarot you got into, or how did you really develop your ability?
It was actually, this is my first ever deck of cards, Archangel Oracle, and I bought those alongside the Romance Angels. They're the only ones I still use by Doreen Virtue because people love them because they're straight talking. But I just started off as an angel card reader, and I used to be called Miss Tinks Tarot, like as in Tinkerbell. My daughter named it. Like, yeah. It was one of those things I was like, okay, we'll just call it that. It's catchy. But then I got the gig at Larder with Larder in 2016. And yeah, that's kind of how it rolled. But I didn't start doing tarot until I would say the end of 2016 because I feared it. Like I was terrified of it because I'm like, oh, this is some scary stuff. Because there's so much to learn. But I actually just sat down and did it in a day. Like I just read an entire book on tarot in one day, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty straightforward. So, but I don't always use the traditional tarot because people are afraid of the Rider-Waite. They're terrified of it. But I use the psychic tarot. I love it. That's my favorite deck of all time.
That's really interesting. Terrified.
Yeah. I had I can't remember why, but I remember I had when I used to practice for free. I think everybody who starts off does this. They go in the groups and they're like, "Oh, kind of, I do that like free reading thing, asking me a question." And then somebody had, God, I can't think which one it was. They had a card, they didn't like it, and then loads of people were like, "Oh my God, it's so bad. Like the Rider-Waite's got negative vibes attached to it." I don't think it does. I think it's just the way that you choose to use it. I think that's, yeah. That's the problem.
I feel you. Yeah, especially with the whole thing of politics about actual objects being good or bad. I don't believe that there's like. I believe spirits can possess objects, but that's why when you get a deck, you cleanse it, you clear it, you sleep with it. You know what I mean? Like, these are just tools of your subconscious. I see it as so.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe like objects could be. That's like saying this book can be evil. Like it depends on what you're doing, right? But other than that, even though there's symbolism that carries its own energy, I didn't expect this hour to fly by. So
no, it has gone so fast.
Let's play the game real quick. We'll just take turns asking 3 questions before we close.
You do it first this time because I did it first last time.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but no, you do it first. Cool.
You got me. You got me. So my first question.
Right.
My first question for you is, what are your 3 favorite zodiac signs, and what 3 greatest challenge?
Oh, my 3 favorite.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's tough. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. I'm biased in that. I'm gonna say number 1's gonna have to be Pisces. I'm biased. I'm sorry. It's just because I gel so well with the like-minded ones. The second, I'm gonna say Libra. I like Librans. I do. They don't get enough thumbs up for me. And I would say the last one is Gemini, just because you guys keep me freaking sane. Like one of my best friends is Gemini. My God, she can just keeps me laughing whenever I feel like crap, like. But that's a tough one because I love Scorpio too, and I love Taurus, and it's so hard. But yeah, I would say like a close, Scorpio and Gemini would be like my close thirds together sort of thing. What would be yours? That's your question. What would be your 3?
Of challenge? Because you told me your 3 favorites, but now we got to hear the challenges.
The three I not so much.
Yeah, or at least that.
Oh crap. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say this because I'm not gonna say why, but yeah, the number one would be Aries, and that's not any particular reason other than I have dated an Aries in the past that was a freaking nightmare, and we just did not work. It was just simple as fire and water didn't go. The second would be Virgo, but that's only because I do love Virgos. Like a lot of my best friends are. I would only say that because I find sometimes it hard to understand their, like, you know, Virgos can be very critical and they can come across sometimes as harsh, but they're not being harsh. They're just doing it out of love, you know, that sort of thing. And the last one would be, oh God, I would say Capricorn. I had some bad vibes with Capricorn in the past. So,
Oh wow, they can
yeah,
be sometimes.
they can be vicious, man. Vicious.
We have experience with one.
Yeah.
I won't mention names, but yeah.
Oh, Christ, yes.
She was truly the devil card.
Penny dropped moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't want to remember. I don't want to recall any energy, so we'll just put that one right back where it came from. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. Wow.
That's good. You don't ever want to
No.
remember.
Yeah. So, what would yours be?
Well, it's constantly shifting and evolving, to be honest. I also notice the signs that are challenging to me. I love very much so as well.
It's hard. It is.
Astrology has allowed me to love every sign because I started to realize it really truly is like one energy that is just more so, you know, split in 12 temperaments, let's say. But I will say my favorite three right now, which is always subject to change, honestly. It's not, I kind of feel like it's fluctuating. I do love me some Gemini, but I'll say my favorite three are Sagittarius, Libra, and I kind of do want to say Pisces because
damn right.
Pisces like puts me in check in a way that I hate a lot, but it's still necessary.
We do it out of love. We do it out of love.
It's like Pisces just reminds me how redundant my talking can be. It's like they'll kind of, it's not until after the fact that I'm like, I didn't really need to say that. And they'll just kind of like indirectly let you know. But it's a great energy. I'm realizing more and more as I get older how divided it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to make fun of Pisces, but that's
it's so easy to, though. That's the thing. My daughter says the same. She's a Gemini. My one of my best friends is a Gemini, and both of them, like, I'll tell them straight, and they don't want to hear it sometimes. But I'm doing it out of love. Like, I do it from a place of love. Like, you know, oh, you shouldn't. It's like with my best friend. Like, she was talking to this guy for months. He clearly wasn't interested, and I just says, look, you got to give it up now. He's being an asshole, and she didn't like what I had to say. But then she was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's a hard thing. You know, it's a hard place to be in.
Personally, yeah, I'm sorry, I might interchange Libra for Aquarius because, like, I said Sagittarius and Libra because I still don't have experience with those signs. So it's really more so a curiosity. Like, I want to explore that. But more realistically, Aquarius, I'll put in there. Aquarius has been really cool. Pisces in that respect too. I've never met a Capricorn man that I have not liked, or I have not really like gotten along with. Like, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think there was more to that Capricorn. A few Capricorns that I've known. There is always that shady side that you don't see. But yes. Yeah, that's the problem. They can come across as sweet and innocent, but we know the truth.
Well, happening with me with earth signs, especially the Capricorn woman, like I guess because my moon's in Cap, like they know how to empathize with you. They know how to connect with you, trust them, and then bam, it's like, oh,
bam, two-faced. Yeah, I see. I feel it.
I thought Gemini was two-faced. No Gemini's ever done me like that.
No.
Not by Gemini ever.
I find nothing but good things of Gemini because I haven't met a two-faced Gemini yet. I actually haven't. Like my one of my best friends, like we'll just sit and we'll just we kind of, she's the one that'll send me screenshots. I guess a little bit, but like she'll like look at this, like look at this guy sent me. Like,
yeah, we cool with the screenshots.
Yeah, I love it. I think majority of my phone is just that. Like, I do it now. I'm terrible. Like, if someone's upset me, they've sent me a message, and I'm like, how do I respond to this? Like, yeah, it's dangerous.
But yeah, no, personally, it's interesting. Like, even in terms of the men, personally, like I'm only making this realization now that I'm with you. It's really the ladies that have been simultaneously attracted to, but then also betrayed by. And I just mean as far as earth sign ladies. So I'm not going to say, I'm also aware that maybe even with some of the men, if it is, it's behind my back. And that's like my wire. For Pisces and for Aquarius, both the men and the women have been really good to me. Very
Pisces men and women, we both are, but I find that there is a definite difference. The Pisces men, they tend to know what they want later on. They panic at the start of stuff. Like they're like, oh my God, I don't know what I want, but the Pisces women, they just seem to know. They just kind of go, yes, this is what I want. There's always this, I've just noticed that, I've dated now 2 Pisces guys and they were both exactly the same. Like they knew, they went head first, they kind of went like head first in, but then they like panicked. When things got serious, they're like, oh, sort of thing. And then, whereas I'm just like, what? But here's a question. Like, what would you say is the least compatible sign that you've dated? I would say mine's Aries, straight down.
I honestly, I'm going to make a book about my dating experiences. Like, I want to wait till I'm in my 30s.
I love it. That's a Gemini thing. I love it.
Put down the signs and just date them again. Because I never really had a dating life growing up. Because my mom's advice was never be in the same room alone as a woman. And my dad's only advice was, if you have sex, use a condom. So like, I never really had dating experience really growing up. But I would say up until now, the most difficult compatibility I might have, it's hard for me to tell. I would have to really come again, but I really do want to say Pisces is usually really great at first until like a certain facet of my ego kicks in, and then like I'm either too insensitive or not, but that could actually be worked through. So that's why I appreciate it. Because I realized every clash that I had with them was usually just a misunderstanding, and y'all usually
Pisceans are sensitive. You can say something to me, and I would, if it's not meant to come across in that way, I will take it the wrong way. But then again, it can be the same, for the other opposite end of the spectrum. Dating a Pisces, I find, is you are on the same frequency, you're on the same wavelength, but there are clashes of interest, because if you say something that they didn't interpret right, there could be an argument there. It's that potential. Like, you're not going to agree. I suppose you're never going to agree on everything, but no relationship's perfect. And that's something I've learned. I learn my biggest life lessons through my relationships. That's what I found.
So because I'm Gemini sun and Cap moon, I actually get along with everyone, but I also clash with everyone. So it's like, I would say maybe Scorpio and Capricorn. It's just I don't have enough experience dating to know who I get along with the worst. So I'm saying this more as a guess here. It would be either Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, or Capricorn, or maybe even Sagittarius. Aries is really cool with me because even though I kind of see Aries more like a best friend than a date option, even though that would be really dope if we dated. But it's a really great question. I need to do some more research and then get back to you on that. But yeah, if anything, my next question for you is, if you were a tarot card, what tarot card would you be?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, that's a really good question. I have my cards like right next to me. I'll show you.
Nice.
Yeah, I have. To be fair, originally I would have said the lovers, but to be honest, no. No. It's it's Mercury retro. That's not happening. I would say it's probably this one that's been kind of looking at me, but let me get my camera back up. So just checking I'm getting it right. But that one, the New Beginnings Zero, New Beginnings. I like it because she stood on top of the world and she's limitless. Like she's like, hell yeah, I'm taking this path alone. You know, I'm taking it alone. I'm doing what I need to do. And I'm kind of getting out there in the world, you know, and I like that because it just means that you can manifest anything you wish to bring in. But yeah, I would definitely say New Beginnings, although it would have been the lovers, but that's kind of my Taurus moon side coming out. Maybe I don't know.
The New Beginning is the full card, right?
Yes.
Awesome. That's one of the best cards.
I do like it because people think, yeah, it's like describe yourself in one word this morning. I was going to put the fool because I'm usually the one that is the fool. But at the same time, I like it because it's, you know, again, it's about new beginnings, manifestation, and getting what you want to bring in. Just bloody well do it. That's just my motto in life. Just bloody do it. You know, life's too short.
Yes. Amen.
Well, I have a question. So if you oh no, I best not answer that because I best not ask that because that's a hard. I was going to ask you if you could eliminate a zodiac sign and just have 11, which one would it be? But I think that's quite harsh.
Oh, you want me to get killed?
Exactly.
Yeah. But the answer,
I would say
is Virgo. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, Virgo.
No, that's one of my favorite signs.
Oh, that's going everywhere. No, joking.
Right.
No, if you could work with one deck of cards for the rest of your life, you wouldn't be allowed another one. What would it be?
If I can work with, okay. And by the way, Virgo, it is a total. I would never get. If we got rid of you, Virgo, we wouldn't be here for real. So
I know, right?
you know what I'm saying? So I love me some Virgo. I love me some Virgo. But anyway, Rider Waite, I keep it original. I'm just really stubborn and basic like that. I would just stick with the Rider Waite.
Yeah.
Original Rider Waite tarot deck. And
Yeah.
I want to get that Crowley deck. I think that's awesome. And there's certain like phone apps out, but yeah, I would just. That's a really great question. If I could,
Thank you.
One deck, I would just stick with the original Rider Waite.
Yeah.
It's scary too, so I'll just be like, "Ha! Look at the death card. Ah. It does mean you're gonna die." Imagine. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I have so many, but I could not. I don't think I could actually make a decision because I don't know if you find this like I have what's called my base deck, which is my deck which I work with everyone, and that is my psychic tarot. But I flip between the psychic tarot for the heart, and there is really no difference. Just the pictures are slightly different. But I love John Holland's energy in his cards. I love them, so I would probably say any of his cards I would be down with, but. Yeah.
I'm definitely wanting to explore different cards as well, or different decks, seeing how like things are rolling. My final question for you is, what is the dumbest or stupidest thing you've ever been asked in a reading or in this line of work or just doing what you do?
I got asked if I'm a douche canoe. No, I'm joking. I had to get it in there. No, they asked me. Oh my god, it's not. I would say it is the most stupid one, and I'm gonna go to town on this now. So you've set me off. Well done. But yeah, they asked me. I had a reading booked about 4 weeks ago, and it says on my website in my T's and C's, ask me, just dare me, ask me if you're gonna win the lottery. Just dare it. You know, like don't ask me. But someone did. They paid for a reading and they said to me, am I going to win the lottery this month? And I sat there and I about headbutted my keyboard because I'm just like, really? Right. The thing is, this is how I explained it. And I explained it in the most professional way. If I knew when someone was going to win the freaking lottery, do you think I would be in this village, in this house, paying the rent that I pay, the bills that I pay? My kids would be in like an amazing school. You know, if I can predict someone going to win the lottery, trust me, I would be getting rights to that paycheck. Like, trust me, because I can't freaking do it. And it really annoys me. Exactly. I would buy the ticket. I actually would.
Damn.
But yeah, that and the other one is when am I going to meet my soulmate? I don't know.
Oh my God, that was a real keyboard slapper right there.
Oh my God, I don't know. Like I can't. The thing is, and I sit there and I'm like,
Or
and I will.
They're gonna talk to me, and it's like, what the fuck? What?
And it's so bad because you want to. The thing is, the lottery question. I did do the reading, but I ended up instead doing. Oh, go away! I had fly buzzing around me. I ended up doing a reading, and to be fair, a lot of it I used this manifestation cards, and it was basically saying how she could manifest money in. And I even said it may not be the lottery that you're asking for, but you could get like £100 pay raise at work, and that would be awesome. You know, like something on those bases. But yeah, I can't tell you what date and time you're going to meet your soulmate, because trust me, if I'd have known that, I'd have met them a long time ago. You know, it's one of them things I can't do. We're not like fortune tellers where we predict stuff. You know, I can't do that. I can give you a rough guideline based on. Yeah.
That's what makes it annoying. Sorry for interrupting, but it's like you give them real life advice, like, okay, because then that's the only silver lining I see when people ask stuff like that, because now it's an opportunity for them to get the truth. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be so focused on the soulmate right now. Maybe you should. And then they never appreciate it. They're like, oh, I'm going to ask another psychic. Fuck this.
Yes, they do. And then they spend a fortune. And then I feel really sorry for these people, because I'm like, you know, they're very vulnerable. And I have to remember that these people are very, very vulnerable. And I've been vulnerable, so I understand how that is. It's just very, very difficult when you're trying so hard to say to them, like, look, if you go out there, enjoy yourself, work on you, the right person will come along. I've had to learn that the hard way. You know, I've gone from a relationship to relationship in the past, and I'm thinking, why did they never work? Because I had no self-love. Self-love's the most important thing. You don't love you, no one else is gonna. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, true that.
We got to be queens and kings of the world, you know?
So this is an awesome talk. I don't want to keep you.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to have you back on the channel. You know what it is.
Right, yeah.
For your patience with me. We're supposed to do this a while ago.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. We did the last one 7 months ago. That's gone really quick, hasn't it? It's been like half a year.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it was the same. But
I know. Yeah, but that was fun. Thank you.
I have the link to your YouTube channel below.
Oh, you sweetheart. Thank you.
Please subscribe to her channel. Do you have what services do you offer, and how can people reach you?
Well, they can reach me through the YouTube. All the links are on my videos over at amysangelguidance.com. I do tarot, astrology, life coaching, counseling, and anything really you want to talk about, I'm your girl. But that's the kind of how we go.
And do you have any final word of advice for anyone walking this spiritual path?
The walk in the spiritual path is just be authentic. And as a parting word, my favorite motto in life, I use it every day, is it is what it is. And you can't change what's coming. So you just have to go out and kick ass.
True.
And don't get road rage like I do.
Kick ass, take names. If you do have road rage, make sure you have a Mars and Gemini, because at least you'll win the fight. And that's all we have to know.
Damn right.
Well, you guys stay blessed. Thank you for staying tuned as usual. And until next peace talk. Peace. Awesome.